तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And yesterday I said that we have come to the 9th September, though it is not mentioned here, but that is not correct. 9th September we will get on the next page. Now, 2 days back, in Bengali, we had left an undated portion, and that is here. Now, in Master Masha's diary, there might have been an undated portion, and that Nikhilananji thought that it belongs here. Between 7th September and 9th September, he has put it. That may be more correct because in the Akhanda Bengali edition, it is put between 18th August and 19th August. But it starts by telling that ek din, on another day. So between 18th and 19th, how there can be another day? Anyway, but those who have the Bengali book may please open the Ekadasha Pariched of this very chapter. We have finished the 19 Pariched and we are going to the 20 Pariched. But before that, this Ekadasha Pariched, you please open. In other language translations, they must have taken from the English. So it is here only. So we are reading an undated portion of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the steps of the southeast veranda of the Kali temple. Kali temple, not in his room. Kali temple, southeast veranda. Steps of the southeast veranda. Rakhal, M and Hazra were with him there on the steps. He talked light-heartedly about his boyhood days. So, about his boyhood days, he talked a little. Then he went to Samadhi. So what he talked of his boyhood days, that has not been reported, only it was said that he talked lightly of the boyhood days. When it was dusk, he returned to his room and sat down on the small coach. Soon he went into Samadhi, everyday happening, and in that state began to talk to the Divine Mother in Bhav. He is aware of the Divine Mother, not aware of the people sitting around him. He said, Mother, what is all this row about? Shall I go there? I shall go if you take me. The master was to go to a devotee's house. Was it for this that he was asking the Divine Mother's permission? Again he spoke to her, perhaps praying about an intimate disciple. Mother, please make him stay less. Well, mother, why have you given him only a particle? A part you may say because Kala. Remaining silent a moment, he said, Oh, I see. That will be enough for your work. So, power to enlighten people. That only one small part mother has given to one of the devotees. So why you have given him only that much? That will serve your purpose. That means with that, he will do enlightening the people. That is Kalima's work. In the same state, he said, addressing the devotees, that which is Brahman is verily Shakti. Repeatedly, he will tell this. I address that again as the mother. Shakti is in general, but he says, I address that as the mother. I call it Brahman when it is inactive and Shakti when it creates, preserves, and destroys. It is like water, sometimes still and sometimes covered with waves. The incarnation of God is a part of the Leela of Shakti. So, Shakti equated to Saguna Brahma. Shakti, which creates, preserves, and destroys the world, is in the Vedantic language Sagun Brahma. And because that desires this Sthiti, so it takes form as a man without losing its own consciousness or divinity, and so that is called avatar. To make the world stay for some time, he has to pull back the external tendencies of man. Leela of Shakti. The purpose, Leela of Shakti, was explained that the whole world is Leela of Shakti, but that deludes us. So to help us rise above that, he is born, he takes up a body without giving up his Godhead. So that is the special Leela of Shakti. The purpose of the divine incarnation is to teach man ecstatic love for God. So I is born to touch love for God. What type of love? Ecstatic love for God. Prema Bhakti सिखाते हसन. Prema Bhakti, Anuraga Bhakti. Bhakti with the experience of God's love. That is the Prema Bhakti. That is called ecstatic love. The incarnation is like the udder of the cow. The only place milk is to be got. That means the whole world is his Leela. But where you will find God or the love for God, that is in incarnation. So cow has a body, but in that body there is the udder, and milk is obtained there only, not in the other parts of the body. The only place where milk is to be got, God incarnates himself as man. There is a great accumulation of divinity in an incarnation, like the accumulation of fish in a deep hollow in a lake. Deep hollow? घूटेर भीतर माश ऐसे जमे. There is a lake, deep hollow. Hollow does not mean shallow. It is not shallow, hollow. That means there is a lake and there may be a bottom of the lake. But in one portion, it is deeper, like a cup. below the usual surface of the lake. That is called the deep hollow of the lake. So the fish get collected there. So in a lake, everywhere fishes are there. But if you want to get a fish, you go to that deep hollow, there easily you will get a fish. So different examples is giving for the avatar as the special lila of God. Though God is all pervading, you will get God experience, you will get the love of God through an incarnation, like in the cow's body, the udder, in a lake, the deep hollow. Some of the devotees wondered, is Sri Ramakrishna an incarnation of God like Krishna, Chaitanya and Christ? So at that time, people did not know about it and they are guessing it. They are feeling something like that. And here ends that undated portion. Now we entered 9th September. So according to the Bengali book, go back to 20th Parichet. Yes. There, Sunday, September 9, 1883. About that portion, we neither know the date nor day. Sri Ramakrishna had finished his midday meal and was sitting on the small coach in his room. Rakhal, M and Ratan were sitting on the floor. Who is Ratan? Ratan was the steward of Jadu Mallik's garden. Caretaker, you may say, of the garden, which is near Thakur's place in Dakshineshwar, and was devoted to the master, that Jadu, that Ratan. Now and then, Ram Chatterjee and Hazra passed in or out of the room. It was about 2 o'clock. Ram Chatterjee is not Ramlal. Huh? Ram Chatterjee is the priest who was very helpful to Thakur and his devotees. And Hazra, that impostor, he was also coming in the room and going away. Ratan told the master that a yatra performance by Nilkantha had been arranged in Jadu Mallik's house in Calcutta, not that garden. Huh? Yatra is a village religious drama in open theatre. That is called Yatra. And it is in the form of songs, most of it. And the leader of the group, it goes by his name. So Nilkantha is the name of the leader of that group, which is going to perform Yatra in Yadu Mallik's house. Now this Nilkantha had a very beautiful voice and also he was a good devotee and Thakur liked him very much. Ratan, to the master, you must go. The date has been set. Master, that's good. I want to go. Nilkantha sings with great devotion. So Nilkantha's voice is not only sweet, but he sings with great devotion. A devotee. That is true, sir. Master, tears flow from his eyes when he sings. To Ratan, I am thinking of spending the night in Calcutta when I go to see the yatra. Ratan, because that will be in the evening, late in the evening, so night he will spend in Calcutta itself, not coming back to Dakshineshwar. Ratan, that will be fine. Ram Chatterjee and the other devotees asked Ratan about a theft in Jadu Mallik's house. Thakur did not ask. Ratan. Yes, the golden sandals of the deity were stolen from the shrine room in Jadu Babu's house. It has created an uproar. They are going to try to discover the thief by means of a charm plate. Everybody will sit in one room and the plate will move in the direction of the man who stole the sandals. Among the servants are within the house. Master with a smile. How does the plate move by itself? Ratan, no. A man presses it to the ground. So they guess so and so is the thief and is pressed in his direction. A devotee, it is a kind of sleight of hand. It is a clever trick. Now this word clever brought something to Thakur's mind. Everything in his mind gets connected with God and spiritual life. So the master, the real cleverness is the cleverness by which one realizes God. That trick is the best of all tricks. Sa chaturi chaturi. That cleverness. Why it is cleverness? When we do not put our mind in God and deal with things of the world, we go sinking and sinking and sinking more in the world, in the bondage, and there are all infinite number of problems in the bondage state. But if we use our life to go to God within that world, we have to adjust so many things of our life so that we are free to go to God. That is cleverness. Because if you go to God, it is end of all miseries, end of the cycle of birth and death, and eternal bliss is the result. So that is the cleverness within this world. That trick is the best of all tricks. Now, same thing. That is the chaturi, and then that saying, sa chaturi chaturi. As the conversation went on, several Bengali gentlemen entered the room, and after saluting the master, Bengali, why it is mentioned? Okay. And after saluting the master, sat down. One of them was already known to Sri Ramakrishna. These gentlemen followed the cult of Tantra, Bengalis. The master knew that one of them indulged in immoral acts in the name of religion. The Tantra rituals under certain conditions allow the mixing of men and women devotees, but Sri Ramakrishna regarded all women, even prostitutes, as manifestations of the Divine Mother. He addressed them all as Mother. Sri Ramakrishna also practiced Tantra sadhana, but for him it was fixed consciousness that women are mothers. So, no indulgence like sex with the woman. He could never behave that way. They were all mother to him. And that is what he has taught to us, all the people of the world, that woman should be mother. Master with a smile. Where is Achalananda? We have met with this person previously, perhaps in the Dakshineshwar. Thakur described the tantric people, and he said that they all used to, in the tantra practice, you take a little wine before you start the practice. And the purpose of that wine is to release you from your hard bounds on your present consciousness. That is the purpose. For example, in the modern world, when they have to do political deals, business deals, they invite people in the hotel and serve liquor and all that, and then they talk. So it is loosening the hold on one's present self that the wine is used. But people forget about it and they simply drink and drink and drink, does not think of God at all. This is what Thakur has described. And he has told there is an exception, that one person who was later on called Achalananda used to take wine only for the purpose of meditation. But he also wanted only powers through Tantra practice, not the God realization. And these people wanted only bhoga, only wine. Neither spiritual powers will come to them nor God. So this he has described. So he is asking here, where is Achalananda? My ideal is different from that of Achalananda because he was a well-known leader of the Tantric group and his disciples. As for myself, I look on all women as my mother. One difference that, and that wine story I already told. They used to press Thakur to take wine. Then Thakur would smell it, or one drop he would touch and touch to his tongue. More than that he could never take. The very name wine in Sanskrit is Karana. And Karana used to send him into Jagat Karan Ishwar, the cause of the world, which is God. So that was his consciousness. Here, it is about the powers. It is about the indulgence with women. So, my ideal is different from that of Achalananda and his disciples. As for myself, I look on all women as my mother. The visiting gentleman sat silent. They also perhaps was of the same type. Master, every woman is a mother to me. Achalananda used to stay here now and then in Dakshineshwar. He would drink a great deal of consecrated wine. Hearing about my attitude toward women, he stubbornly justified his own views. He insisted again and again, why should you not recognize the attitude of a hero toward women? So in Tantra, there are three levels of practice. The animal, Pashubhav, hero, Veerabhav, and Devabhav, divine. Now, when the Indriyas are not at all in control, the tendency to enjoy is more than Pashubhav. Tantra asks us to follow Puritan life as much as possible and practice. When you have sufficiently spiritual strength, though you feel a temptation, then that practice is Virbhav. That means stay within all temptation objects, but do not succumb. You go to higher loka, higher regions of spirituality. And the Deva Bhava is when there is no such trace of enjoyment left, you are already divine, then you can practice. So these are the three steps in Tantra. In the Veer Bhav, now and then intelligence is allowed, though the aim is not indulgence. So Achalananda is insisting again and again, why should you not recognize the attitude of hero toward woman? Want to admit the injunction of Shiva? So all Tantra books start by telling Shiva taught Parvati like this. So they take it as injunction of Shiva. Now the Tantric gurus might have put it in that way, but he literally believes that and says that why you don't admit Shiva's authority? Shiva himself is the author of the Tantra, which prescribes various disciplines, including the heroic. So his argument is on this line. What Thakur will reply? I don't believe in Tantra. I don't believe in Shiva. No. I said to him, but my dear sir, but whatever Shiva might be telling in Virachar, I don't know. So he is not directly attacking the idea that Shiva told all that. I don't know. I don't like these ideas. So in his consciousness, these ideas are wrong. To me, every woman is a mother. So in front of all devotees, Thakur has brought the topic of Achalanda's discussion, and they were tantric sadhakas, and Thakur is emphasizing the point that whatever you talk, Shiva or anybody, for me, all women are mothers. Achalanda did not support his own children because he was a married person. Achalanda's name was adopted by him. He said to me, God will support them. I said nothing. But this is the way I felt about it. Which way? He did not argue with Achalananda because he is a guru. But who will support your children? I hope your renunciation of wife and children is not a way of earning money. People will think you are a holy man because you have renounced everything, so they will give you money. In that way, you will earn plenty of money. So, Achalanda also wanted worldly enjoyments. Money is the means for worldly enjoyment. Spiritual practice with a view to winning a lawsuit and earning money. So he will advise people do like that, you will win the lawsuit with the help of that power which he gets by Tantra Sadhana. Or to helping others win in court, that means either you are involved or somebody else is involved, and acquire property, either earning lawsuit for earning money or for acquiring property. Shows a very mean understanding of spiritual life. Money enables a man to get food and drink, build a house, worship the deity, serve devotees and holy men. So that is the purpose of money, not enjoyment, but minimum needs and seva to God and holy man. That is the way money should be spent, as Thakur's devotees, Master Mahashaya, Balram and others were spending. So food and drink, build a house. Okay. Then worship the deity, serve devotees and holy men, and help the poor when he happens to meet them. So that also is the purpose of the money. Help the poor when you meet them. Don't go about looking for the poor to help them. But when you meet poor people, help them. These are the good uses of money. Money is not meant for luxuries or creature comforts or for buying a position in society. By money, you buy a position in society. These days we see the Western ideas are overpowering, and people with money only are called celebrities. Who are celebrities in our country? Cinema actors or cricketers. They become celebrities. And people talk about their family, their life, the houses they have built and whatnot. That is the Western anti-culture. Creature comforts or for buying a position in society. Deher Sukh, creature comforts. People practice various tantric disciplines to acquire supernatural powers. How mean such people are. I will tell you my experience. Akhada, Vedanti, Akhada sadhus, they all practice Tantra in order to gain power within that Akhada or in Sadhu Samaj. I have seen such people. Vedanti, they are called. Vedanta does not support any of these things, so they practice Tantra. Krishna said to Arjuna, friend, by acquiring one of the 8 siddhis, you may add a little to your power, but you will not be able to realize me. Straight away. You get powers, you get ahankar of the powers, you get drowned. You don't get God. People do not understand this. They think that a man has more powers, he is more spiritual. One cannot get rid of Maya as long as one exercises supernatural powers. And Maya begets egotism. So Ahankar increases. Body and wealth are impermanent. Body and wealth are impermanent. So much attachment to the body. Everything for the body, body's pleasure, body's beautification, that is called asura svabha. Why go to so much trouble for their sake? I will tell something funny. When I was in Chandigarh, 2 devotee girls stayed in the university girls' hostel. And they said their friends are called fast girls. I said, what is this fast girl? They spend more than 1 hour for looking after their hair, and they are called fast girls. Just think of the plight of the Hatha Yogis. So another class, other than Tantrika, they are Hatha Yogis who look only at the physical body and physical powers. And Thakur says, look at their plight. Their attention is fixed on one ideal only, longevity. The original idea of Hatha Yoga is that when you practice any yoga for God realization, there are 2 obstructions. One is sickness, one is short life. So, first gain good health, long life, and then practice. But that is lost, and you become devoted to the body. Longevity. They do not aim at the realization of God at all. They practice such exercises as washing out the intestines, neti, dhauti, drinking milk through a tube, and the like, with that one aim in view. There was once a goldsmith whose tongue suddenly turned up and stuck to his palate. He looked like a man in samadhi because he could not breathe. He became completely inert and remained so a long time. People came to worship him. They thought he is in samadhi. After several years, his tongue suddenly returned to its natural position and he became conscious of things as before. So he went back to his work as a goldsmith. He was a goldsmith and he again became the goldsmith. So no spiritual progress or love. These are physical things and have nothing to do with God. Very clear statement all those indulging in these things should know they are not going to God. There was a man who knew 82 postures, that is Hatha Yogi chart is there, 82 postures, and talked big about Yoga Samadhi, but inwardly he was drawn to woman and gold. Once he found a bank note worth several thousand rupees in those days. Several thousand rupees note, I said don't raise, but several thousand rupees of those days. He could not resist the temptation and swallowed it, thinking he would get it out somehow later on. That note went to his stomach and would get it out sometime. The note was got out of him all right, but he was sent to jail for 3 years. In my guilelessness, I used to think that the man had made great spiritual progress. Thakur, in the guilelessness, did that. Why is telling that? So ordinary people who have no judgment will always feel like that. Seeing a man in samadhi, this is jada samadhi, this is hibernating. I have seen a man, I have not seen such performance, but I have heard that for 1 month he got buried in a tunnel and then came out because he had learned jada samadhi. And people worship him. Really, I say it upon my word. Thakur is telling that Thakur-like person believed that Hatha Yogi Samadhi is a real Samadhi. So ordinary people will definitely feel like that. That is why he is warning us. Mahendrapal, now he is talking about himself. Mahendrapal of Siti once gave Ramlal 5 rupees. Thakur's nephew. Thakur would not take, so he gave to his nephew. Ramlal told me about it after he had gone. After Mahendrapal had gone. I asked him what the gift was for, and Ramlal said that it was meant for me. I thought it might enable me to pay off some of my debt for milk. So debt means milk is generally taken on an account. At the end of the month, they calculate and pay. Thakur do not enter debt. But this is the way milk is gathered. That night I went to bed. So beautiful things are there. Thakur behaves like a worldly man and comes out to show us how to come out. That night I went to bed, and if you will believe me, I suddenly woke up with a pain. I felt as if a cat were scratching inside my chest. I at once went to Ramlal and asked him, for whom did Mahendra give this money? Was it for your aunt? Some substitution. No, said Ramlal, it is meant for you. I said to him, go and return the money at once, or I shall have no peace of mind. Ramlal returned the money early in the morning, and I felt relief. What an attitude. And he's teaching us all this, so he's talking like that. Once a rich man came here and said to me, sir, you must do something so that I may win my lawsuit. I have heard of your reputation and so I have come here. My dear sir, I said to him, you have made a mistake. I am not the person you are looking for. Acharananda is your man. A true devotee of God does not care for such things as wealth or health. He thinks, why should I practice spiritual austerities for creature comforts, money or name or fame? So, money is the gross means of sadhana, enjoyment. And subtler enjoyments are name and fame. These are all impermanent. They last only a day or two. The visiting gentleman took leave of the master after saluting him. Did not ask any question. Thakur went on telling them because they were tantrikas. When they departed, Sri Ramakrishna smiled and said to him, "You can never make a thief listen to religion." There were all those hypocrite. Hypocrite means tantric sadhakas wanted powers. And Thakur has told so many things, but they will not accept that also is known to Thakur. Others may at least get enlightened. And if they could accept, it's a different thing. But he says that thief will not entertain these religious talks. Allah. Well, what do you think of Narendra? Now it turns the attention to Narendra from Ajalananda. So the consciousness to be raised, so long he has talked of the wrong thing. So he must take the example of the bright example for the right things. That is Narendra suddenly. Huh? M. He is splendid. Master, yes. His intelligence is as great as his learning. You understand these two things?
Intelligent.
Knowledge as information. That is learning. And intelligence is the way to gather real knowledge. That is intelligence. So Narendra is both. Besides, he is gifted in music, both as a singer and player of instrumental music. Then too, he has control over his passions. He says he will never marry. So, the more talents you have, the more chance of your going astray. And if you have no talents, you are a man of no sense at all. You have talents, and yet you are self-controlled. That is the way Thakur praises Narendra always. And he will never marry. Sometimes Thakur says he is self-controlled and he wants to go to God. M. You once said that one who constantly talks of his sin really becomes a sinner. He cannot extricate himself from sin. You once said, Thakur has repeatedly said this. But if a man has firm faith that he is the son of God, then he makes rapid strides in spiritual life. Master, yes, faith. So spiritual life starts from faith. And faith is not just believing anybody and everybody. That will lead to darkness. But faith in God, faith in oneself because one is devoted to God. One boy came for admission in Nagpur hostel. I asked, what is your name? He said, Vishwas Bapat. Bapat is family title. I said, do you know what is Vishwas? He could not tell. I said, Vishwas means faith in God and faith in yourself. His father said, they were priest class people. And priest class people are as backward as scheduled caste. Because they lost Vedic knowledge and no knowledge of this world. So he said, I don't want my son to become a priest. Let him get BCom or something and get some job in the bank. That was his idea. He became BCom, MCom, labor diploma, and later on management courses. And he had very, very big positions in life. And then he was a teacher of management in an engineering college. And he crossed all those things. And he passed away. The company where he got a job, they wanted to give him a house. And they asked him, You choose a house and tell us, we'll give it out to you. And he had chosen, and he had taken the boss to see that house. And there he collapsed. Now I remember him because the Vishwas he had. I will tell another thing of that boy. After, for M.Com perhaps, or after M.Com, labor diploma or something, he went to Bombay. And Mumbai had our hostel there. So he became a student there. The warden Swamiji of that hostel asked me, did this boy study with you? I said, yes, but I do not recommend anybody. He said, no, no need of that. He was with you is sufficient. And he became a leader of the boys within no time. Anyway, faith. Now this is faith applied to progress in worldly life. But he was a devotee. Thakur is telling faith. What tremendous faith Krishna Kumar had. He used to say, I have spoken the name of God once, that is enough. How can I remain a sinner? I have become pure and stainless. One day Haladari said, even Ajamil had to perform austerities to gratify God. Ajamil's story is very famous among devotees. Apparently, Ajamil had absolutely no concern with God. He was out and out a worldly man, a sinner. But his son's name was Narayan. He kept that name. And on the deathbed, he was attached to his son. So he went on calling Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. And he was freed because that was the last thought. So people tell that no, it is not like that. He had performed a lot of austerities before. So he came to like that. So that Hadra is teaching Krishna Kishore.
Haladari. Haladari. Haladari.
Haladari, huh? Acha, Haladari? No. Oh, Haladari said, not Hadra. Even Ajamil had to perform austerities to gratify God because Krishna Kishore said, once I have taken name. Can one receive the grace of God without austerities? What will one gain by speaking the name of Narayana only once? At these remarks, Krishna Kishore's anger knew no bounds. The next time he came to the garden to pick flowers, he wouldn't even look at Haladari. So he did not like that idea. Haladari's father was a great devotee. Now, here, is there some mixture? Haladari's father means Thakur's uncle. And this story appears to be about Thakur's father.
Oh.
Now, Thakur's uncle also was a great devotee. And his story is that in a yatra, this Kaikeyi, actor had taken Kaikeyi's part or Manthara's part. And he was telling bad things about Rama, send him to war. And this uncle went to beat him, taking it to be real. But now the story here is, at bathing time, he would stand in waist deep in the water and meditate on God, uttering the sacred mantra. Then the tears would flow from his eyes. Oh, when he went to Bengali, one para is missed. Hmm. Yes, omitted that in English. हलदारेर बाप भारी भक्त छिलो. That mantra is given, Rakta Varnam Chaturmukha. Oh, so that much you have to accept. One day a holy man came to the bathing place. It might be that uncle also might be doing that. Or instead of uncle, Thakur might have said father. One day a holy man came to the bathing place on the Ganges at Ariada. We talked about seeing him. Haldari said, what shall we gain by seeing the body of a man, a mere cage made of the five elements? Holy man, huh? Sadhu. Krishna Kishore heard about it and said, what? Did Haldari ask, what would we gain by visiting holy man? By repeating the name of Krishna or Rama, a man transforms his physical body into a spiritual body. To such a man, everything is the embodiment of spirit. To him, Krishna is the embodiment of spirit, and his sacred abode is the embodiment of spirit. He also said, a man who utters the name of Krishna or Rama even once reaps the result of 100 sandhyas. Faith, he is describing the faith of Krishna Kishore. Nothing whatsoever is achieved by the performance of worship, japa and devotions without faith. Isn't that so? Yes, sir, that is true, Master. I see people coming to the Ganges to bathe. They talk their heads off about everything under the sun. The widowed aunt says, without me, they cannot perform the Durga Puja. I have to look after even the smallest detail. Again, I have to supervise everything when there is a marriage festival in the family. Even the bed of the bride and groom I have to make. M. Why should we blame them? How else will they pass the time? Master with a smile. Some people have their shrine rooms in their attics. You know that? That means not in a well-kept place. Attic is where things are dumped. There is a shrine room. The women arrange the offerings and flowers and make the sandal paste. But while doing so, they never say a word about God. The burden of the conversation is, what shall we cook today? I couldn't get good vegetables in the market. That curry was delicious yesterday. That boy is my cousin. Hello there. Have you that job still? Don't ask me how I am. My hurry is no more. Just fancy. They talk of such things in the shrine room at the time of worship. So Thakur knows well everything. Yes, sir. It is so in the majority of cases. As you say, can one who has passionate yearning for God continue formal worship and devotions for long? Sri Ramakrishna and M were now conversing alone. So all this talk, first he said that so and so were present. Now they are not there. So we may go into more personal talks. M. Sir, if it is God Himself who has become everything, then why do people have so many different feelings? Let us take it tomorrow. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भूय गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।